We're in Psalm 36. And yesterday we read verse 9 and thought about the connection to Jesus. For with thee verse 8, they shall be abundantly satisfied with the fatness of thy house. Thou shalt make them drink of the river of thy pleasures. For with thee is the fountain of life, and in thy light shall we see light. So we left off with thee is the fountain of life, and the connection of that water, that living water, that river of pleasure, that fountain of life. Are you seeing, a few days ago we talked about all the abundance of this passage. Verses 5 to 9 is just massive, it's mind-blowing, it's beyond our comprehension abundance. In contrast to the scarcity of sin and the verses 1 through 4, the paucity of sin, and the destruction, living effect, emaciating God, and grace and mercy and loving kindness of verses 5 through 10. Now, here's my challenge to you today. And we see in verse 9, for with thee is the fountain of life, and in thy light shall we see light. In thy light shall we see light. Okay, so I mean, practically speaking, you choose light, you choose Jesus, the light of the world, okay? Again, we talk about how Jesus in his earthly life reached back to Old Testament pictures and said, I am that. I'm that light. I'm that life. I'm that bread. I'm that word. I am that living water. So all of that, it's not just Jesus grabbing first century metaphors. It's Jesus reaching into the Old Testament and saying that God of the Old Testament is me and I am him and I am here to give you life and to accomplish the work of redemption. So when you step into the light of Christ, you shall see light. He gives you a new set of eyes. He gives you a new worldview. He gives you new ways to go at life, to go at identity, to go at pleasure, to go at happiness, and to find joy. Everything is turned on its head. Everything sin was destroying, God redeems. And God brings back to life and puts back into the light. Now here's my simple challenge for you today, and I am trying to be brief this week. Many of you know I'm on break with Dana and taking some vacation time and resting and restoring, and so recording ahead, and I'm trying to be brief with your time and be able to get all of this done for you so that you can enjoy this while I'm gone. But here's what I want to challenge you with today. David in verses 1 through 4 meditates momentarily on the destructiveness of sin, the death grip of sin. And then he looks up and he gets his eyes on the mercy and the love of God. So verses 5 through 9, and even verse 10 a little bit, but 5 through 9, he is plumbing the depths, the vastness, the infiniteness of God's goodness. And then he says in verse 9, in the light shall we see light. And will you see the light today? Will you step into the light today and the deathness of sin? It's everywhere. You don't have to work to see it. But you do have to step into the light to see light, okay? And there's light to be seen. There's rivers of pleasure to drink from. There's a fountain of life to participate in. If you're a Christian, if you're a follower of Jesus, you're living in the new mercy of God today. You are experiencing this very moment, the faithfulness. I'm back at verse 5. Faithfulness of God today. You have been clothed in the righteousness of God. The righteousness that's great as the mountains. You've been wrapped in that righteousness and clothed in the righteousness of Jesus. You have been promised the justice or the judgment that the judge of the universe is on your side. He's your advocate. He's your father. You've been promised his preservation. Into verse 6. You're living under his precious, valuable, his excellent loving kindness. Again, that same word is mercy. You are able to, again today, put your trust under the shadow of his wings, his protective covering, but also his mercy seat, cherubim wings. You have to go back to last week to catch that. You live under his mercy, and you can enjoy abundant satisfaction today. You say, Pastor Cary, you don't know what I'm dealing with or what's going on in my life or the levels of anxiety. I know this, that if that's your view, you're living on the dark side. You're living in verses 1 through 4. But in Jesus, you can step into the light and you'll see the light. You get into the light, you're going to see the light. Okay, you stay in the darkness, you're going to see nothing but the darkness. You live and dwell and think on and meditate. Philippians 4:8, think on these things. You choose to dwell on darkness, you're going to see darkness. You choose to live in the light today, you're going to see the light. And there's plenty of both. But there's plenty of abundant satisfaction, and there's plenty of pleasure to drink in from the fountain of life that is Jesus. It just means get in the light. Get into the light today. Dwell on the light. Think on the light. Thank God for the light, and let Him lighten you today. Let Him lift the burden, lift your eyes, lighten your outlook, and you get into the light, and you will see light. And there's a lot of light to be seen, and there's a lot of light to share. Hey, thanks for joining me. Happy Tuesday. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.